Are you feeling hot, hot, hot? Because you are about to. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's time to return to one of the hottest topics once more. That's right, the topic of sexy alternate female superheroes. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the hottest versions of female superheroes we have yet to talk about, but who definitely deserve some recognition for how awesome and attractive they are. And some alternate versions of superheroes that we have already touched on, but have simply too many hot alternates of them to be contained in one list. So pour yourself a glass of iced tea or ice cold lemonade if you prefer, and let's get counting. Number 10, XORN Jean Grey. There is something really hot about the power and determination that is this more hardened, powerful, and post-apocalyptic version of Jean. After there was retconned to be fake Magneto XORN and XORN's twin brother XORN, there was Jean XORN. This version of Jean wears XORN's containment helmet not to hide anything about her identity, but to help contain and control her powers, which she claims have continued to get stronger and stronger, which I suppose would make them harder to control, as proven when we see just how much it takes to stand against her. And in the end, it's actually her own power that is her undoing. It's not only her power that makes her sexy here, but for some reason, her getup has always seemed really sexy to me. Something about wrappings and chains that is just super alluring in a sort of rugged way, or maybe in a sort of goth way? I don't know. I know I like it. That's what I know. Number 9, cats. In this alternate universe of Earth 79596, Catherine Pryde goes by the name Cat. She ends up joining Emma Frost's Hellions, and her powers actually surpass that of her main 616 counterpart in terms of abilities. She gains the ability to actually not just pass through someone, but inhabit their body and possess them without damaging their mind. Cat ends up with the Exiles after finding out that the Shadow King has been possessing her universe's Emma Frost and attempting to escape, somehow becoming displaced in reality and time. Number 8, Colonel Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel. Who doesn't love a woman in uniform? This version of Carol existed on Doctor Doom's battle world of Earth 31333. Carol served as the leader of the Banshee Squadron on Doom's battle world, where she was in charge of her own squad of pilots. Usually, she preferred to fly just by herself without a plane. This version of Carol is often seen wearing a military uniform. She was also one of the few bright enough to see through Dr. Doom's patched together world and wonder what else might be beyond those stars. The suspicions of her and her squad got her wondering, which led her to getting into trouble. The miniseries ends with her squad and the Thor Corps getting into a huge fight and Carol having to face off against this alternate version of her once biggest and youngest fan, Kit Runner, who is now all grown up and serving the Thor Corps. This version of Captain Marvel is bold, strong, courageous, and adventurous. All of the things that we have come to love about Carol. Number 7, Dictator Hope. Dictators are not normally the type of people I think of when I think of sexy, but Hope makes being a dictator look surprisingly good. She has not just a look of power about her, but also a look of ruthlessness. I mean, I think to become a dictator at all, you kind of need to be ruthless. In the potential future belonging to Earth 12164, Hope finds herself supreme ruler of planet Earth after she uses her mutant ability to tap into the powers of all mutants on the planet at once. She also activates the ability of every new mutant so that she might also use their powers and exert control over them. This version of her is one that exists in a reality that Mutant Zero has envisioned. So it's like a fantasy reality, I guess, but like a bad fantasy. Nightmare reality. I just love how he imagines her as this tough-looking warlord, and how good she looks wearing tons of armor with her wild hair. Number 6, Black Magik. This alternate version of Magik comes to us from Earth 161. She's a villainous version of Magik's Ilyana Rasputin, who kind of has a Madeline Pryor look to her. This version of Ilyana has glowing eyes and wears a lot of purple. She has tight pants on with long gloves and a long purple cape that is also kind of part of her top. Her ears also appear pointed here, like elf ears. In this reality, she is manipulated by the villain Cossack into becoming more powerful and more evil. Whether it's her Darkchild persona or Black Magik, Ilyana looks pretty good when she is being bad. Number 5, AME-COMI POWERGIRL. This version of POWERGIRL comes to us from the AME-COMI universe. She ends up in a relationship with a very lucky Jimmy Olsen. This version of POWERGIRL ends up deciding to found the Justice League with Wonder Woman. She is often drawn more cutesy looking than her standard self and wears a more futuristic looking version of her outfit, accompanied by white boots or sneakers. Sneaker boots. It's a thing. This outfit has more than one cutout and comes with arm gauntlets. as well as what looks like thigh-high stockings, but they could also be armor made of the same material as her gauntlets, as they both have the same sheen. Number 4, Ultimate Storm. This version of Storm wore many different looks over the years, but of course looked stunning in all of them. Whether she is sporting a crop top and her long ponytail, or her hair flying free with cutouts on her tight shiny pants, or has her hair cut short while sporting a crop top or bikini top, Storm, as always, looks the part of a goddess. Sometimes looking like more of a badass goddess than others, but always truly being a badass at heart. Number 3, Black Queen. This version of Kitty Pryde comes to us from Earth 1298. In this reality, after Storm was kidnapped by Dracula and transformed into a vampire, Kitty was sent on a mission to defeat this villainous version of Storm. Kitty failed her mission and was forced to become Storm's servant. Eventually, she escaped and ended up running into Sebastian Shaw, who made her the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club. A look I never thought I'd see Kitty wear, but not one that I hate by any means. Kitty looks good in red, don't get me wrong, but she also looks really good in black too. Number 2, AME-COMI Wonder Woman. There is something really sexy about a long loincloth. This version of Wonder Woman just has a really stunning and eye-catching costume that we need to pay tribute to. This version of Wonder Woman also comes to us from the AME-COMI universe. Here, Wonder Woman fights in an armored corset with her lasso of truth fastened to the bottom of her corset and still hanging at her hip. She fights in a long loincloth with undergarments underneath. Of course. Her corset is red and gold, while her loincloth is the familiar star-bespeckled blue pattern. Her shield here is actually attached to her arm, which I just love the look of. It also just seems super practical, and she usually can be seen fighting with a big sword in hand. I am also super in love with these boots that she is wearing, which I think look stunning on her, even though heels are not usually practical to fight in, but I'm sure Wonder Woman could do it. I feel like she could do anything. Number 1, Swimsuit Special Rogue. In the 90s, swimwear was all the rage, with shows like Baywatch infiltrating homes and television sets and making everyone fantasize about the ideal bikini bods and the type of people and characters they'd like to see in swimwear. Needless to say, Marvel also decided to hop on this trend and release their own Marvel swimsuit specials. Issue number 2 of the Marvel swimsuit specials features the deadly and dangerous Rogue, especially deadly in her bikini, as at the time she had little control of her life energy zapping, power draining, memory stealing powers. Rogue advertises an adventure-filled vacation to the Savage Lands on the cover, which is unsurprising as I feel like her Savage Lands look with her torn, tattered uniform is known for being one of her hottest. So I'm not surprised that Rogue would be like, by the way, remember the Savage Lands? I looked so good. But also it's kind of a terrible time for me. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. Who do you think are some of the hottest female superheroes? Which female superhero would you like to see more alternates of? Who is your favorite all-time alternate? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Scary Hottest Female Superheroes. They're scary hot. Carver Augustus comments, didn't think it till the picture came up, but Magik in her Darkchild persona is pretty scary, yet still beautiful. I agree, Darkchild would be a good one to include on maybe a part 2 of that list. Magik is also just scary in general because she is so powerful. It's a really good suggestion. BH Blankenship suggests also pre-control Rogue, who would drain the life out of you with a touch, as well as stealing your power and memories. So Rogue was actually on my extended list for this reason, plus I just like talking about Rogue. I think the lack of control over her powers initially made her both scary and sexy. There is a danger element there that I just really love. I'm like, you can take my memories, Rogue, I'm fine with it. I ended up subbing her out though, cause I had too many good monster related female soups to be honest, but I would definitely love to include her on a part 2 of that list, as well as put her on all my lists really. Good suggestion. And that is all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feel shouted out in a future list. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you to stay nerdy, YouTube. This one hair, just stay in there. Stop coming out. And how good she looks wearing tons of armor with her wild hair. This one, speaking of wild hairs, this one hair, just stop it. Oh, you. I'm gonna kill this hair. I'm gonna kill all of my hair. I'm just gonna shave my head. Next video, I will be bald.